What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. Tougher and tougher every day. But before I get into this video, I want to address a question that everybody's been asking concerning my last video, which I happened to have my reflection in the mirror, and guess what they saw? My concealed to carry weapon, which wasn't so concealed. I carry two types of weapons for those that are interested in concealment or carry. Some I carry that, well, I got several weapons, but this right here was the one I was carrying. This is a 1911, all right, SIG 1911 45. I carry that openly because Ohio is an open carry state. But when I want to conceal, and this is for all the people out there that are thinking about getting their license to carry, which I recommend, I carry a small Glock 9mm, easy to conceal, because you don't always want to have your stuff out in the open like a cowboy. You know, I mean, it's kind of like letting people know, well, if I'm going to shoot up a whole bunch of people, that guy needs to go first. So I would recommend carrying a smaller concealed weapon. But that's just for your information since everybody was inquiring. Anyway, now let's get down to business. First of all, racism is wrong, okay? I think the average person in America knows that. I think you have a very small group of people that's running around talking about racism is good for America because we got to separate all the races because of racism, okay? See, that's why in my mind, a person is racist. That's how I'm envisioning the way they think. You know, like, surely this person can't be thinking like a regular person. To verify that racism is good for some reason. So I wonder then, why would CNN go to a very small remote town in Pennsylvania looking for racism? See, here's why you know that CNN is all about division. CNN is all about painting a negative narrative for the president. CNN is all about trying to make the president look like a racist and going out and finding stories to validate their whole narrative of President Trump's a skinhead, Nazi, white nationalist, KKK member, Ku Klux Klan / Hitler traitor. That's what he is. See, they took their butts all the way to some small town population. I think they said it was maybe like less than 3,000 people to find a neo-Nazi that happened to say that Trump, now first of all, they didn't show the whole interview, okay? They was getting chopped up bits and pieces. See, I don't know really what all the man said, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, this guy was talking about how he's a neo-Nazi and they were about to have a meeting. And then CNN was trying to say Trump echoes and has the same beliefs as them. And I'm going, I've never heard Trump say anything about white supremacy or the same beliefs. And they had this black guy on CNN that was pushing the narrative and the commentators in the middle, and there was a lady on the other side arguing against the narrative. And he's talking about Trump, I'm not saying he's racist, but I'm saying that he said things to make it acceptable for people in America to come out and start talking about all these things and saying how they feel about racism and white people and this and that. And he starts referencing the same go-to. Trump called the Mexicans, didn't say illegal, didn't say why he said it or the context, went right back to the drawing board. Trump called all the Mexicans rapists, murderers, and drug dealers. Trump said a Mexican lawyer couldn't do his job because he was Mexican. You know, just running off the whole list, the hit list of the, you know, the Trump racism narrative list. And so I'm listening to this guy and I'm saying to myself, okay, so out of all the places CNN could have went, they go make it their mission to find a neo-Nazi and then try to make it seem as if this is the norm. 50 million people out there, 60 million people, you know, voted for the president. And yet they make it their mission to go and give a platform to a dodo, an idiot, a guy who fits their narrative. Out of 50, 60 million people, that's the guy that they wouldn't found. Look where they found him at. A small city in Pennsylvania, okay? That means this wasn't mainstream. They had to do some research to find this dude, okay? Not to mention, if you were to say want to find an idiot in every culture, you can do that. It would be like me saying, let me go find a radical Muslim to interview if I want to push the narrative that all Muslims want to kill Americans and blow them up. Or if I was to say all black people are ghetto and violent, use broken English, eat watermelon and chicken, and want to fight all the time and over dramatic. I can go to the hood, interview a couple dudes, and watch them go off on camera to push my narrative. This guy right here, we're interviewing Rollo. Rollo, if that is your real name. How do you feel about black people in America today and racism? Man, let me tell you something, man. Racism, man, that's some bull crap, man. The white man, he got me done, man. Nah, man, what you doing? Hold on, man. Back up off me, man. Back up off me. What you want to do, huh, punk? What you want to do? Now, I can find that guy and sit back and say, look at this. This is what CNN is inciting. I could do that. I could say, this is what the Democratic Party is breeding, kicking out with their bad policies for the inner city. Yeah, with their lack of education and their bad infrastructure for the inner city. This is why they're like that. I can go to Chicago and find black people killing other black people and say, look at this. All black people are killing each other. And this is a result of the Democratic Party that runs the inner city but never cleans it up. Where's this all stemming from? Let's take the responsibility off of the individual and put it on the Democratic Party and their horrible policies and their lack of follow through when it comes down to serving the black people that they claim to love so much. I could do that. See, I could find a couple Mexicans that jump the border and say all Mexicans be jumping the border. Versus going to find some Mexicans that say, I came here legally. I paid my money. I filled out the paperwork. I could do that. Everybody can go and find an example of a knucklehead to push their narrative. So that means that CNN is more interested in finding trouble. You made it your mission to go find some trouble. If you don't want a dog to come and lick you, don't go, here boy. Yeah, and then when it gets over and lick you, talking about why this dog licking me? You called the dog. You went out looking for somebody that was racist in a small, remote area. And guess what? If you wouldn't have put your big fat cameras in the man's face, then nobody would be paying attention to this guy. If you wouldn't have said, let's go ahead, interview this guy, do a report on it, blast this image out to millions, or in your case, about 5 people that watches your show. But nonetheless, blast this out and create this image that this is an epidemic. You know, it would be equivalent to a random police shooting of an unarmed black man. And then y'all just shoot that one story, run it all over again, every day on your station, 2 weeks straight. Putting the image in people's mind that this is worldwide, this is national. Everybody is killing black people. Police officers everywhere. They get in their car every day and they're like, how many we gonna get today, Jim? Yeah, that's how it is. That's what y'all want the people to think. So for y'all to go and find someone that is a neo-Nazi in a small remote town, I watched the interview. The guy, I'm mad that y'all would give this dude a platform. Out of all the millions of Trump supporters, you're going to find that guy, okay, to highlight racism. Out of all the millions of Trump supporters, when it comes down to how they feel about illegal immigration, you go find white people to talk about it. You never come to me. Why wasn't I on a town meeting? I want to get on one of them things, the one where you guys had all the people sitting around and you brought the one guy in, said he was a Trump supporter, but he starts his sentences off like, I'm glad I didn't. I'm mad that I voted for the guy. I apologize, everything. He's a racist. And I'm going, that guy seemed like he had his whole script ready. Come to find out that the dude, he was a socialist. He was talking about how people were crazy for supporting Trump in the first place, but yet somehow he slips onto your panel, and that's what y'all highlighted. Trump supporters are turning around. They're changing their mind. And I'm going, funny how that guy ends up on your show. I'm thinking, can you call me? I like to be on the show. It's funny how you go and you talk to people who fit your narrative. Why don't you go and interview some Latinos who don't like illegal immigration, or black people who don't like illegal immigration, or black people who ain't mad for nothing, getting on TV talking about, man, I never go to the White House, man, that's crazy. I don't even want to see the president. I don't want to talk to him. I ain't even watching no reruns of The Apprentice. Forget that dude, man. That's what I'm talking about when it comes down to you guys being biased And everybody's going, well, on your show, they picking on us. I don't even know why. We be trying to do the right thing. We're non-biased. We're equal opportunity. I mean, no, you're not. No, you're not. When you make it your mission to go find one example out of millions of people who voted for Donald Trump and then try to make it seem like it's Donald Trump's rhetoric that's making it easy for these people to come out as if they never existed before Trump. Guess what? They were still doing rallies. They were still being neo-Nazi-like before Trump got in office. But the difference is that you didn't go out in these remote areas and find them and give them a national platform to talk about their neo-Nazism. That's why nobody really was paying attention to him. It was under Barack Obama's leadership, and you don't want it to look bad under him. See, you don't want it to look like his rhetoric or, was divisive. So you're like, no, we don't, no, leave them cats. They're just back heel type people. We don't want to talk to them. But then Trump gets into office and you going, can somebody go find me a neo-Nazi we can interview? Okay. Out of the millions of Trump supporters out there, we can go to any one of them, but no. Let's go find the neo-Nazi and then just paint it like, you know what? This is pretty much world, national. This is the way almost all of them probably think. Just leave it up to you guys. See? And that's why we call you fake news. Okay. So I tell you all right now, racism is wrong. And for CNN to go find a racist and give him a platform to talk about, it makes me a little upset that you would go find racism and highlight it just so you can make the Trump organization look bad. That's all you did. You're like, let's go find some racism. Okay, give that person a national platform so they can badmouth the president, just like y'all bend the rules and find all kind of other people that you don't like initially, but when they feel like that they can hurt the president, then you all of a sudden giving them a platform. Hated Omarosa, now all of a sudden she's gonna be on your station. Yeah. You hated James Comey, then he's on your station. You put people like Stormy Daniels out there. You put anybody who you think can make Trump look bad, you put them out there and you say, look, everybody, let's go find the worst examples and then put them out there long as they can make Trump look bad. But we're not fake news. I'm not buying what you're selling, CNN. All right? Stop promoting racism because racism is bad. And I don't think you have to go find a neo-Nazi to prove to the average American that racism is bad. So stop highlighting and glorifying racism, CNN. That's all you talk about throughout the day. Racism, sexism, all of that stuff. We don't want to hear it no more. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. God bless you. Find me on Facebook, Twitter. Check me out on Wednesday night, 7:30. And if you want to support Kevin and Kevin's Corner, there's links in the bottom to do so. God bless you. See you next time in Kevin's Corner.